Hi everyone, I am Matteo. There is Calvin with us and Irina, and this is the streams working group meeting of March 2017. So for all of you that are watching this late and so on, there is a nice issue 261 on. There is also down there in the YouTube box, and there is where all the list of things we are going to talk about. It's a pretty long one for this time. Anna is going to join later on, but she can right now, and Josh is probably late. Yeah, anyway, Matthias can join. So Calvin, it's probably you speaking about require stream.
Yeah,
probably you.
So we have a require stream hack that was to get around the fact that there was, fairly complex dependency issues. We have a require stream hack that was, and just also like bloat from the previous version of Browserify when you included stream in, except it turned out that doing require stream with an expression there, like we were, it doesn't actually do what we thought it did. It actually just never, we thought it did, I had thought it includes stream when it's available. It doesn't include it into the bundle, but if it's already in the bundle, it will return it. It turns out it just never returns it, and it always throws an error, which means that, but the thing is that this has caused 0 bugs, except for one in Webpack involving bundling it. So that means that nobody actually does that. As far as we can tell, nobody actually does like foo instance of stream and needs it to work. Because, so we could just get rid of that require stream. And because we did, like several versions ago, and nobody noticed.
Yeah. Do you remember which version? Do you have a clue?
Yeah, it was probably a minor release. Probably, I bet like 2.2.0. No, that was bundle dependencies. The aborted bundle dependency because it turns out yarn breaks. Maybe it was 2. Yeah, I know I can do it. I can do a history on it.
Normally when something like this happens and nobody notices, you mean nobody files an issue kind of thing. And in that particular case, do people, when they have an issue with this, would they actually file an issue kind of thing?
Yes, we
that was a confusing statement, sorry.
We tend,
it was not confusing at all. I understood what you meant.
Okay.
We tend to get an issue very quickly if anything breaks. If any sort of release breaks stuff, we will get issues, sometimes within like minutes.
Okay,
Yes.
I remember there was one preceding this, I think actually right before this, so 259, that was basically asking for stream false, I think that was, but yeah, I get you.
The one that I remember was the one that where we used bundle dependencies, which apparently doesn't work with Yarn. So that, yeah, it was within like minutes we got some.
I've broken support for 0.11 -- with last couple of days, and we got a report in less than 10 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Like 0.11 -- harmony. Like not. If something was broken, it will be reported straight away.
Okay, cool.
I think it's at this point in the new. I logged in the new node source certified modules thing, and it seems it's the most readable stream is the most downloaded module at all in npm.
Dang.
Something like that. I don't know. Very close to. Anyway.
Okay.
Hi, Sam.
Hello. Sorry. I've it's been a long time since I've joined any of these.
Yeah.
Looks like you've been up to some more important things in the meanwhile.
Yeah, seems so.
Oh yeah. It just came up with a notification saying you were on here, so I thought I'd join. Anyway, hi. I'm Sam. Anyway, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but carry on.
So it was version 1.7.2 is when we did that. So that's been in the wild since May of 2015.
Yeah, but we did a breaking change anyway. Like it will be probably a problem only for people on V1. Everybody.
Yeah. So we can just probably get rid of that.
Yeah, you said V1.2, so I'm putting it in the notes.
1.7.1.
1.7.1. Okay, I know you really know this point. Yes. Do we all agree? Yeah. Okay. So that was the first point. Second point, as by full majority of, as a lot of people said in the issue, we think we add Irina to the working group. I think anybody is objecting. Hey Sam, you probably haven't followed so much lately. Are you agreeing that Irina joins?
I have no problem. Yeah, go for it.
Fantastic. Okay. So yeah, I will add Irina to the. We will add Irina to the working group later. It's a file PR, Irina. Okay.
Cool.
So there is that. We are skipping support for uint 8 array before for Anna to join. Okay. When she said she will be late by 20 minutes. Oh yeah, Josh is coming. Wait a second. I am. Yeah. I need to invite Josh. So let me invite Josh. Yeah. Here we go. So, okay, I'll send the URL to Josh. This is probably on me. I think we are ready. So I think a bunch of people reviewed the my. Hey Josh.
Hey.
How are you?
Doing quite all right.
Good. So we were at, I think we all care about a lot, everybody cares about a lot, which is inverse the dependency between core and readable stream. The enhanced proposal we have submitted back in January. We have been talking about this for like years at this point. Are you all okay in, I did some editing for people that asked about, can you edit this, can you add this, can you add that? If you are all if you all agree, I will submit it to the CTC, okay, and ask what they think about that.
Go for it.
Go. Yeah. Perfect.
What's the process after you submit it to the CTC?
You just add a label and tag node.js CTC, and somebody, one of us, really, that's the process. You tag the node.js CTC.
And when bureaucracy kicks in?
And then one of us...
Hold on, this is live. I shouldn't say that.
Then one of us will probably me at this point, or if you wants to join, we will go to the CTC, one of the CTC meeting and discuss that, okay, and see what are the problems and if they accept and what is the process around all of it. So anyway, that's a formal process for getting this on them, because otherwise it's not going to land. Okay, that's some very major change. At this point, it's unlikely this is happening for Node 8, but I'm not concerned really. So
Okay.
okay. Yeah. Let me note this down. Okay. Yeah. There is one issue on that have been filed up lately, and I added this to the late minutes. If you open up the thing, it's fixed missing unpipe event from pipe made by end false. Had you had the chance to go through this issue? I was just wondering if this is some very major or not change. And
Could you perhaps link the issue? Could you perhaps link the issue?
Yes, I can link the issue, but there is a link if you wait a second. I'm passing in the chat room here. Yeah, this is the link of the issue. Yeah.
Thanks.
So that issue, it's quite interesting. It seems that to have been over there since forever and ever. So that's more or less. I think it's fine, and it's just a bug fix. But I don't know if you can. We have all had a lot of experience with this type of with this code, and I don't know if that piece of code has been stale since forever. Okay, so I am a bit concerned with that PR. But on the other side, it seems a pretty legit bug.
So what? So I'm looking at the actual. So what actually causes the bug to happen? It's that.
So the problem is if you look at how it's fixed, okay. If and is not specified, the unpipe event is not ever even fired at all.
If the end
of the source
is not fired, or if that event doesn't fire.
If you have a source stream and you have the dest stream, okay, and you pipe source into dest, passing the option and false.
Fine. Yeah.
Okay, and in this case, the destination should not be closed and should not be called. Okay, and what it happened was if in this situation the unpipe event that is documented is not fired.
All right.
It looks like it's essentially just calling instead of cleanup.
Yeah.
Which I assume does a cleanup.
Yeah, it seems an easy fix. I am more concerned about the impact of this in general. Okay, I'm less concerned about the fix. But please if you can take a little bit of time and think a bit where that can be used, or if that can break something. I will be very happy to have your opinion, because I was reviewing that and I was not really don't know. was a bit so-so for me in general, but it might be not. Okay, sorry to have fired this up as a big thing, but it was particularly.
What do you mean it was so-so for you?
Well, for me, it's so that piece of code has been running super fine for everybody forever.
So it's just like, I guess, this specific person's edge case is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, but it's right. So that's more or less my only problem.
But isn't unpiped gonna what this like? I'm trying to think what the corner cases would end up being. It would probably be like if you are streaming to multiple things with end. Let's see. I'm trying to think when, like, what would actually be affected by this. So I'm looking at the tests, and the tests are just like looking at pipe counts. So I'm not. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah, so we can noodle on this a bit. And you may want to check, do all of these tests fail in the current without this patch? Check.
Is there a previous set of tests for, I guess, pipe and unpipe events anywhere that I don't particularly know of that I can look at?
Let me check.
Because I'm sure we've been testing this sort of thing before. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's not an it seems a trivial one, but when I was reviewing it, it was like.
Another thing like to think about is maybe writing a set of tests that that are like more usual use cases rather than this particular person's use case, unless we already have those and just kind of run it against.
No, we don't.
So possibly asking them to write more usual ones. So
yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Hey, just for this PR, wouldn't it make sense to run Canary in the gold mine to see if it like actually breaks anything?
Yeah, that's
also,
good.
Yeah.
It might be like, yeah.
There is a problem there. Calvin, do we have that flag we asked about? Do you know?
Oh yeah, we have that. Readable stream equals disabled.
Yeah. Does it? Can we run that with? Can we run it with that? Yes.
We can run. Yeah, I thought they were running it with that.
I don't know. We should. I'm not 100%. I think it's another job or another task. I fear. Okay. Anyway, I will postpone this particular issue because it's been dragging for a while. I'm not like. I would like to. What time is it? 20 minutes. Do we know somebody has a clue about? Oh, Italo says the unpipe event looks like a Semver minor. Okay. Nice. Okay. 5. Semver minor. Let's check. out flag. Okay. So, yeah, do we have a clue about Anna? Somebody? Yeah. Yep. So, whatever. Yeah. So, the issue Anna wants to discuss and why I put it on the working group was support uint8 array as an argument for all the functions in streams. So write and push.
So what
This is the
is
issue. I'm posting here the issue so everybody can follow. Here we go.
Wouldn't it be better for her to kind of walk us through it, or that would require us to postpone this to the next meeting?
He's joining. For everybody, there is the pull request. It's linked into there. Anna is joining.
Okay. Cool.
So let's just wait a couple of minutes and
we can also
the other issue I
around
want to talk about with Anna, if we can get some sort of budget from the foundation to host our own or pay for local tunnel. So to avoid all those problems with local tunnel in general.
Yeah, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, that's why. That's like just easy. It's easy. It's not a big budget, so I will just ask if she can put it on the. So one of the problem for everybody, one of the problem we have with our CI system, our current CI system, is that it's running on Travis, and to run it to run the test on browsers, we need to use a thing called local tunnel to actually expose it. The unit is through Zool npm module, so that we can show it. We can run our tape test into the browser on multiple browsers, but it's impossible to get an all green. Like you get a half green, a 1/3 green on the browsers because local tunnel just fails badly because it's a unpaid. It's an unpaid thing, best effort, and it's not really.
You know why this is, right? You know why this is?
Why?
So it's running on someone's server. So we're running on someone's proxy server, and everyone that uses local tunnel uses that one server. So it's yep, that's a problem right there.
So again, I am open to suggestions for this. The current situation is not good. I would really would like to have a paid for solution that we can just buy and forget about it. Either with ngrok or whatever else. There is somebody that is maintaining it because the burden of this type of maintenance is not easy. Or we can get our own server, or we run it on the CI infrastructure. But I don't think we can open ports in there. Even if we set up a Jenkins instance, I don't think we can open ports. I wouldn't allow that if I was an admin. So, yeah, at least she is trying. Try killing Chrome. We have 9 people watching. Hi, folks. Thank you for waiting for while Anna joins.
Actually, I think one of them's me by accident.
If she's having tech problems, I think you can call into Hangouts.
Really?
Yes.
No.
I've been having trouble with just using Chrome, so I've just been switching to Firefox. See if you can hear me, Anna, switch to Firefox.
I don't know.
Or the opposite. I mean, I had trouble with Firefox, so I've been using Chrome.
Isn't buffer backed by a uint array, or is it supporting different types of uint array? Uint8 array, yeah. I thought buffer inherited from it.
Yeah. Will it actually? So what is the current sort of issue that prevents it from working? I guess would be the better thing.
So the problem is when you pass in a uint8 array, especially on so all the streams machinery expect it to be a buffer. We add some methods to uint8 array. Okay, buffer subclass uint8 array
Yeah.
on from node or onwards. But it's not. How would I say? It's we are in the full machinery. It's with that PR, the full machinery stays with buffer. So what happens in that PR is that it takes the uint8 array, wraps it in a buffer, and get it back to the user. Okay.
If they pass in a uint8 array, what comes out the other side? Is that a buffer
Yeah, it's always a buffer.
or a uint?
It's always a buffer.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi. Yeah, I made it finally.
Excellent.
fantastic. Yeah. So we were just waiting for you because we are almost done, and we were wanting to discuss a little bit that uint8 array pull request.
Right. That's what I was expecting, basically.
Yeah.
So I guess my sort of 2 cents looking at it is either
Just to stop a little bit, Calvin. Would you like to talk a little bit about it? Why you think that's a good change to the API, and so that everybody that is watching, we have 10 people watching. So hey, know what?
Yeah. Right. Sure. So, what I would like to see across the API that Node itself exposes, not readable Stream or Stream in particular, is uint8 array support in every place where currently buffers are supported. And that makes sense because Node implements buffers as uint8 arrays. And because like what Node usually does with that kind of input is pass it onto C++ in some way. And the actual thing that the C++ layer needs is a uint8 array. That's what it works with. So it really just makes sense to update the is buffer checks that we have in Node's codebase and turn them into is uint8 arrays checks. And there's nothing really speaking against it. The check is faster than instance of buffer, and yeah, basically, there's nothing speaking against it. And so, because Stream is part of Node's API, I would like to see that in the Streams API too. Of course, only for input, like the methods that return stuff to user line still have to pass buffers, of course. And so, yeah, that's why I opened the pull request. And yeah, Matthew rightfully pointed out that because Readable Stream works in environments that are not based on current Node versions, buffers are not always implemented as uint8 arrays. So that's one tricky thing that we should talk about.
well, I'm so just looking at your the pull. I mean, basically all it does is coerce stuff uint arrays into buffers.
Right.
If they get passed in.
Right. That's what.
So I mean that's pretty straightforward to do. So buffers in Browserify are also built on uint arrays if they exist. So
if they exist, yeah.
So in places where they don't exist, it's going to be very tricky to actually pass one in.
True.
So that probably isn't anything to worry about.
I mean, like,
yeah,
the code as it is in the PR would not work for environments where there is no uint array. But I guess that could be worked around.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we could. It's fairly straightforward to put a like where is the one reference to actual uint 8 arrays is in the stream thing. So, or no, there's just some. It's how you do the is uint array and whatnot. Is those are the only places where that would be a problem, right?
Right. Yeah. We could just replace that by instance of buffer in cases where, yeah, uint 8 array is not defined.
Yeah, or I mean,
thing.
I tend to tell people don't worry about like readable streams. Like we can figure stuff out. It's
it's me worrying, Calvin. It's mostly me worrying.
Yeah, like I mean,
yeah, no, that's,
the main thing is just that putting something in libstream like that is a bit just we don't, that's not where we have been putting utility functions on, so that
no.
that might, yeah, but otherwise,
yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, no, I don't have any idea what works best for readable stream, and I'm happy to work it out in any way that you would prefer.
But otherwise, I guess, so is this part of a, so this is part of a broader effort to do this?
It's kind of on my personal agenda, yeah. I have been doing that for a couple of other Node modules, Node core modules, and there's not much left. I think it's just zlib or something that's not covered so far, and string decoder and stream, which I'm currently having those open PRs for.
Just out of interest, is there a practical use case for doing this? Is it driven by a use case?
Originally, it's mostly driven by the discussion around the future of what we're going to do with buffer in Node, because there have been voices that actively pushed for saying we should maybe just support uint 8 arrays, because the buffer API, it's not what we would do if we were to redesign Node, right? We would just use uint 8 arrays, and
okay, so
yeah, so it's also like
no?
check is quite a bit faster, and yeah, it's what C++, what the C++ layers actually need to check for.
Yeah.
Not whether something has the right prototype, but whether it's actually binary data.
Okay, but just to get this straight, it is not driven by any particular use case. It's driven by what you think the Node API should look like, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So my one thought is just like, why just uint 8 arrays? Any kind of array buffer? Is there a reason why, you know?
Because like buffers are already uint 8 arrays. This is not a like huge additive change in any way, at least for the rest of the Node Streams API.
Yeah, there is.
And Node API, sorry.
On the good side, so there are two sides of this. One is as an API point of view, but also the other is it's about, in fact, checking in the latest node, checking that is just a uint 8 array versus something else is actually pretty faster, because it's done in C++, really
So the is iterate uint date is actually very fast.
Yeah.
There is a on the PR at the beginning. There is the benchmarks, so you see that there is some gain within this change.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if buffers are already implemented on uint arrays, we can already do it is uint array and get the performance boost without necessarily supporting raw input as uint array and changing the API, right?
Well, no, because then uint arrays that aren't buffers would pass the check.
Ah, damn it, you're right. Gotcha.
So if it's a fairly straightforward way to then coerce a uint array into a buffer, it seems like it's performance win that also has some API Dreamland pluses as a side effect, but that even if that wasn't the case, we would have a win there too.
So like just have mentioned that the benchmarks that you see there in the PR itself, those are like for the change as a pull request to Node. And I haven't benchmarked this for other environments where we would not be able to use that C++ check, obviously. That is uint array thing as it's currently in Node. Yeah.
Yeah, my point from approaching this, I'm not sure if I think it's a good idea or not. I really like the performance improvement, but my point of view is the Streams API is really complicated right now. We're refraining from adding any sorts of features still, and how can we make sure that it doesn't get a lot more complicated? That's kind of like the angle I'm taking this PR from. But yeah, it seems reasonable-ish.
Yeah, no, sure. I mean, like in the end, the actual changes to the source files where actual code is, those are like 10 lines or something.
Yeah.
I think that's a good indication for it. This is not like a terribly huge feature.
Yeah, it's just that if you like need to explain to someone how do streams work, we're like, well, you have 3 or 5 types of streams depending on how you look at it. 2 modes. It takes buffers, but also uint arrays, which are actually buffers. Well, buffers are, it gets like a lot. It becomes a lot.
I get it.
So that's why.
There is also just to say about this. There is also the fact that we can just put it in. Yeah, no, sorry, forget what I was saying. A terrible idea. I censor myself. So I do this all the time. Sorry.
Can I maybe like just ask, like, how do the people in here feel about this as an API change?
I honestly don't really care. I don't use a whole lot of uint data arrays. I probably would disagree with Anna about that the UI would be that the Node API would be different if we design it now, because in all honesty, the array buffer API is kind of pain, so and not very user friendly. So, but on the other hand, I don't see any reason that we shouldn't allow people to do this. So that's my sort of 2 cents.
Sam, Irina?
I'm sorry, you go first.
I think I found it really hard when I first kind of started working with streams to be able to decipher what it is that I need to send over and stuff like that. So I think if we're going to be implementing this as kind of this new feature that streams will have to take, and documentation is already very tough to read through. So it just has to be extremely well documented, I think, for me. And again, like, this is the kind of feature that's probably not going to be used for a majority of the people who work with streams, just because I think most people just are used to working with a buffer at this point. So there's that.
There's also the like, well, it's just sort of like there are other things that are sort of built on the array buffer backend. So being able to take an array buffer, or like we're doing one. If we really wanted to do convenience for people, having like this generic array buffers would also make a bit of sense. So having explained, yes, you can do this type of array buffer, but not this.
And to that point, even
I agree
like
with
explaining
that.
the difference. Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I think I agree that we should try and cater, like, if we're going to cater for one array buffer, we should try and cater for all. And also, I think, well, from my personal opinion, looking at this, is mentioned this, but some of the code is very much like handling different environments, and obviously, if it's going into Node, we probably don't want that here, but we would need it in the readable streams code in that repository. But that's it. That's my opinion on it, really. I mean, it would be kind of nice if the whole of the internals was array buffers, but that would be a bigger task, probably.
I don't know about providing more than just one option of array buffers. Uint 8 is probably fine. And
Now,
didn't Anna say that's what? No.
Yeah, I'm really not sure about like supporting other kinds of input, because that would actually expand the API semantically, right? And this is just like, there's this one type of binary blob thing that we have, and there's this other type of binary blob thing that we have. They have different historic origins, but basically they were always the same kind of idea. And now one is actually implemented on top of the other. So I think it's way more natural to tackle Uint 8 array support. But
I am very, as I originally put it down, I'm very conflicted about this, because on one side I really like the performance boost. Okay, really. So I can't argue with that. On the other side, I don't see lot of cases where that would be used at this point. Okay, so let me try to make a proposal. Let's try to have this in maybe not for 8 but for 9, or not 9. So we have a little bit more time to discuss it, because for me it's some very major change. Okay, it's even if it's from a lot of, I fear a little bit too much breakage on readable stream side, because it will take some time for us maybe to figure this out. At least this is my point. We need to at some point to bump the major and readable stream anyway. So, but that's my overall idea. But we will need to test it. There is also another thing. We haven't run this with Canary in the gold mine, okay, with our flag. We need to see if that change breaks anybody, at least, okay? So just in case. But I don't know. We can take it out on later on in the offline if you want to. We don't have. I don't want to drag this along too much. So I think everybody now has a clear understanding of what is the problem. I don't know if we can. I don't think we can reach an agreement on this. I don't know. What do you folks think about?
Just to be clear, from my perspective, I'm not against this at all. I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just my only concerns were obviously like handling lots of different environment things seems more like a readable streams, because at Node we can predict the environment. Obviously, the fact that buffer is backed by a uint array, sorry, makes it like a perfect candidate. It should just work. Like you'd expect it to just work, I would imagine. But and when you say about performance gains, does that mean that like Node Core could change some of its implementation to use arrays and get some boost from it, or is it just third-party stuff?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch the last part of what you said.
Oh, no, I was just wondering, like, by having this in core, would that mean that other parts of Node could take advantage of this and get a better performance?
At least that's what the benchmarks say, yeah. Like all the parts that use streams. So, like instance of is known to be a pretty heavy check. Yeah.
So it boils down to the fact that instance of is really slow in general, and because of that, we can have given that we check for uint array, that will make things way faster. That's an end cut of it.
Right.
For a lot of C++ internals reasons.
I just so you know, like I think I also posted that in the thread. With the upcoming V8 compiler, the benchmarks still look pretty good. Like I think it's just 5% improvement or something. It's not as huge as like as it would be for the current Node plus V8 combination. Still.
You mean Node 8 versus Node 9, or it would be Node 8, the new V8 compiler?
Whatever version starts shipping Turbofan.
Turbofan, yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, it's in the Turbofan. Yeah, I don't know. We should have asked somebody else, but Francisco or somebody. I don't know. Yeah. So just to go a round trip very quickly on the streams, the working group meeting. Are you okay in moving that forward or not, just to make it a very plus minus, or to move the decision at some point on a later working group, or
I have no problem like taking time and waiting until we figure out all the concerns that we may have or whatever.
Yeah, I'm generally in favor. I might, pick Anna's brain about a couple other things about it, but yeah, generally in favor. I mean, as long as it doesn't break anything. I mean, that's really the only thing I care about.
Seems like a good idea. Definitely need to pay attention to details. So having a bit of time would seem like a good idea.
Yeah.
I think I'll just say +1 because I think you guys have covered everything.
Also fine, just kind of making sure we take the time to make sure it works. Just to make sure we don't create any more kind of uncertainties as we publish it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. I think we can move it online. Please fire up all the possible questions that you can have on the PR. So I think that is all. and then we can move it on when it's ready to go. Okay. Please take some time to review it, file some question on it, please, folks, because it's mainly me reviewing the pull requests in core at this point for Node.js streams. Please help me. Thank you. There is that. I have one more question for Anna, in fact, and it is related to one of the problems we are currently having for running our testing infrastructure. Okay, I don't know exactly what is the process of this, but currently to run the test on the browsers, we are using a thing called local tunnel. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It allows to open a port locally on a NATed box, the firewall NATed box, and access it on the internet. But in this way, our source labs can run our things, okay? Our tests. The problem with this, it's local tunnel, can't sustain our current runs. It's a lot of strain on poor local tunnel, and we can get a all green situation, okay? So I don't know exactly what is the process for either getting a box where we can run those tests that can open a port, or pay for a license for ngrok or something like that. So that we have tried ngrok in the past, and all the free open source versions are too flaky for us. We can get a completely run. Okay.
As long as it's about resources, I think you could just open an issue at node.js/build and say what you need. And yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you think we need to take it with the build working group?
It did sound like you were like what we needed some sort of like our own machines or something that we could run on the CI machines that we use for.
Well, at this point we are running on Travis for readable stream.
Including the browser tests.
No, the browser tests, yes. The Travis runs the browser test.
Yeah.
Drives labs to run the browser tests.
So yeah, if it's just about needing more resources to have like proper CI coverage, then asking Node.js build is the right thing.
Okay, I will open up an issue with Node.js build, tag you, and let's see how it goes. I have one more question while we are at it. Do you have admin on Node.js, on the Node.js Travis organization?
I have no idea how that whole Travis stuff works, because I know it's complicated, and you would probably.
I can actually answer this.
Okay, sure.
So what's his face? The small Canadian.
Jeremiah.
Yes, him. So he set this up for me in the past. It's actually quite a bit of a pain. You have to basically turn on like the integration for like everything in Node, flip that one switch, and then turn it back off again. So, but it is doable by, I think, like you have to turn on like the integration, which allows you to then go in and actually change stuff. And then we can talk to him. He's around still, right?
Okay, if because there is this issue that I opened that allows us to limit the number of concurrent tests. That might help us. I don't know. Anyway, yep, that is all. We need to ask. I think that is all. We had a nice long working group. We had a lot of things to talk about. Josh, you are not listed in the README. Please send a pull request, please. Thank you.
Will do.
Okay, so I'm just pinging everybody. Also, I will ask people that are not part of the joining the working group lately for a year or something, if they still want to be involved. There are quite a few in the README. Thank you for joining, Sam. So,
right. Sounds good.
Yeah. So I think it was nice talking to you folks, and we'll talk again maybe around. By the way, anybody is coming to the Collaborator Summit in Berlin? Just so that we plan a little bit.
Wait, what? When?
Ha.
Well, I live here, so.
3rd and 4th of May.
May 3rd.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, perfect. If anyone needs a place to stay, feel free to crash at mine.
I might come talk to you about that.
Cool.
Fantastic. So we are. I hope next time we will meet at JSConf.eu, at the Collaborator Summit before JSConf.eu, and I'm really excited. If anybody can't make it or has some problem funding, Anna, is there some way to applying for a grant or something? I'm just asking you because I know you are the person for this type of stuff at this point.
So, asking a grant for what exactly?
So you said at some point, in some emails I've said that there was some grants for traveling for collaborators.
Oh yeah, right. If you need that, open a PR at the node.js/tsc repo like the other PRs that are open for travel funding. Just look at them and do the same thing. I think there are a couple open, and yeah.
All right.
Perfect. Fantastic. I will follow up with. We need to follow up on a little bit of things and push out some releases probably. But good work, everybody, and thank you. And you got perfectly on time. So we had still between 8 and 12 watchers, viewers. Wow, I'm really excited. I hope they liked it. So bye, folks.
Yeah. Thanks, Matthew.
Bye.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
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 Bye.